Beautiful morning it is, and you're welcome to yet another show talking about business and with Coach Simon. And I'm delighted to be here. I trust that you're doing well, and I trust that business is going on smoothly and nicely. Right. We'll be treating a very important topic. It's important because it's something that would further help you as you go about creating visibility for your business, as you go about marketing or creating awareness for your business. I remembered growing up, there were certain stories that was told us. One of the stories is that of Joseph. I once heard the story, his story, when I was really very, very young. Even the story of David and Goliath, and the host of other amazing stories that was told us. But that of Joseph specifically was told us while I was very much younger, and even several years after, 20 or even 30 plus years after, I still remember the story. Still, I can tell you what happened next and all of those things. At least a larger percentage of the story, still, I can still recollect them. Now, between that time and now, a lot of events has happened. A lot of events has happened, and possibly I've forgotten about most of those events. But some of these stories, I still remember them. That is the power of storytelling. And so I will quickly sharing with you using the title Turning Strangers into Clients or Customers using storytelling. I want you to know that customers don't fall in love with how great your brand is or how amazing your products are, but your story, the story behind those products, the story behind the brand is what most will fall in love with. Why? Because your story makes you relatable. Your story will make you relatable. Your story will make you relatable. It is stories that add humanity into what you do. What you do at that level is nothing but just something that is just there. But it is story that humanizes the products, that humanizes the business. And it is also stories that make you trustworthy. The story that is behind the products will make you trustworthy, especially if they are genuine, real, authentic stories. It is what would build that trust, makes you trustworthy. It's also what would also separate you from others, because every brand has its own peculiar story to tell. And I don't mean cooked up stories. I mean stories that are real, stories about the business and all of those things. They understand. So your story, if great, can turn strangers or random buyers into loyal customers. Can turn them into, because one thing you need to understand is that most people buy you first before they buy your products. And that is what most of us fail to realize. Most people, they first buy you. So if you are good at putting together your story and putting it very well, it has the potential of helping you turn. It has the potential of increasing the lovers of your brand, of your product, of your services. They understand. So, why do story works, you may want to ask? Number one is the fact that people may forget product features, but won't forget your story. Just like I still remember the story of Joseph that was told us many years ago. I still remember, even 30 years after, I still remember those stories very well. You understand? People may forget about the features. People may not be able to, but a very good story, if you if you craft a very amazing story around the product, it has a way of making people remember the product. You understand? Remember the product. If all you do is just to project features, they may forget. But if a story is told, if a story is wrapped around the product, it will be difficult for them to forget. Aside that, also, it creates that emotional connection between your business and your customers. It creates that emotional attachment. Do you understand? It creates that emotional attachment. So that's also another very important reason. That's why storytelling is very important, right? So, to an extent, I've been able to convince you that storytelling is good. It creates emotional attachment. It builds trust and all of those things. But then, a good story has has a formula. A good story, the story that can sell, has a format. What is that formula? What is that formula? Number one, you need to create the character. You need to create the hero. And in this sense, your customer, either your product or you as the brand, or your brand or the customer, in this case, should be the subject. Should be the subject matter, should be the matter around which the story should revolve rather, right? Then you need to also talk about the struggle. You talk about the struggle. What is that thing that your customers struggle with or are struggling with? Or what is that thing as a brand you struggled or the challenge you faced? You need to also note that down. Then number 3 is the breakthrough. Breakthrough has to do with how you're able to survive it. How you're able to survive it. All right. How you're able to solve the problem or solve the challenge, or how your product or service was able to solve the challenge or the problem of your clients. You need to also note that down. Then finally, success, meaning that it has 4 components. There is the hero, which is the character. There is their struggle. There is the breakthrough. You understand, the solution, where the solution kicked in. And there's also the success. You understand? Success. For example, to further illustrate this, for example, a very familiar brand is the Dangote. You understand? Dangote as a brand, as a person. When he started out as a local trader. That struggled. All right. He started as a local trader that struggled to grow. You understand? But found breakthrough by focusing on local production. And became one of Africa's biggest industrialists today. Do you understand? So the character is Dangote. The struggle he had is he struggled as a local trader. You understand? But the solution started coming in when he decided to focus on local production. And the success story is that he eventually became one of Africa's biggest industrialists. You understand? Let me give you a personal story, right? There was somebody that came into I usually, there's this particular program that I host talking about Self-Matthew Mentorship Program, and there is this person, permit me not to mention name, that came on board that program. As at the time he came on board and when we got talking, because I usually will have a one-on-one session with those that sign up for the program. When we got talking, I realized that this is one person that is hungry for success, but that's totally confused, right? That's totally confused. And so what I now did was there's a certain structure the program follows, and so that structure was applied. You understand, series of processes, learning processes that is featured in the program. The person went through that, and at the end of it, of course, plus and the interaction. All right. That was the interactions, of course, that happened today. That same person that came, that is hungry, but hungry for success, but confused. When I mean confused, I mean I saw confusion. Like, so when, see, you don't know the blessing you have when you are clear as to what to do in life. This person was just confused because this person had so many knowledge on so many things, and don't have a direction, don't know clearly where to face. Today, this same person, this same person has gone ahead. He has been able to gain clarity, and he has gone ahead to impact, is impacting lives. In fact, there's this particular tour that he does, all right, that he does. He has done over, I think he has done in about 3 to 4 states now, and still counting. There's a series of other content that I've seen him. So I've seen him literally grow. You understand? Literally grow. You understand? So that is how powerful this is. So using what? Mentorship program as one of the activities that I do. He came in confused, but he went out a success. He went out clear as to what to do, and he has gone ahead to do. And there are a series of other stories like that, of so many others who have passed through that system. You understand? So with what I've illustrated now, you now understood the formula, right? So let's proceed. So how then can you apply this to your business? How then can you apply this to your business? The first thing you can do to apply to your business is tell your story. Tell your personal story, as in tell your why, by sharing why you started the business that you're currently doing. Tell that story. Tell that story. All right. I want you to note that customers trust businesses with purpose. Your why projects your purpose for doing the business. Your why projects your purpose for doing the business. So tell your why. Why did you start the business? It's very important that you tell it. Right? I think it was Simon Sinek that in one of the content that he created, in one of the classes, I think it was the training that he did, was talking about the importance of telling your why, because your why will sell better than even the product itself. That a product without a why may not sell very well. You'll be shocked. You'll be shocked. The reason why somebody may be buying from you is because of what you have told them about the story that you have said. It's very important. Number 2 is for you also to share your customer success stories. Your customer success stories by sharing how your product or services changed their lives. Like the person I just mentioned now, the Simon Matthew Mentorship Program changed the person's life. You understand? Changed the person's life. And there's also another person too who I think I did an event, a virtual event, and the person was one of the participants. After the event, the person got connected, and interestingly, the person was at the point of confusion. All kinds of things. It was like his world was just crumbling right before his eyes. You understand? But I took him through the process. You understand? I took him through the process, as at that time, he didn't know whether the possibility of going to school would eventually happen. All right. I think it was around that period he lost his dad. All kinds of things were just happening. You understand? But with the support through that program, you understand, today he's a graduate. You understand? That is how powerful this is. You understand? The transformation. Today he's clear as to the direction. In fact, because of that clarity, he was able to study the course he studied, and today he's a graduate. You understand? So, and he has gone ahead to focus on whatever it is that he's currently doing. You understand? So tell your story, right? Apart from that, also it's important that you can share the stories, all right, on different platforms. That's how you can apply it to your business. Share the stories on social media as texts or videos, sales pitches, presentation. When you are given the opportunity to maybe make presentation, you can share that. So here's a quick exercise I would like you to do, because this is very practical. All right. Here's what I would want you to do right away. Right. I would like you to answer the following question. Going by that formula, you remember the hero, the struggle, the hero, the struggle. Let me go back to it again. The hero, the struggle, their breakthrough, and the success story, the success that eventually happened. So, using that format, so the first question you want to ask yourself is, who is your hero? In your story, who do you want to use as your hero? Is it you, or is it your customer, or a particular customer, or a client? Then the next question is, what are their struggles? What struggles? What are they struggling with? What struggle did they face? And the third is, how did your brand, or how did your product or service, how did it help them? How did it help them? That's if it is something that happened, or if it is something that that you want to use to sell. It's something that you want to use to sell. You know that you're going to write it in anticipatory form, meaning that your hero in this, you ask yourself, who is your ideal hero? Who is your ideal customer or client? The next thing is, what are they struggling with? The next thing is, how can your brand, your product or service provide the breakthrough that they're looking for? Then the last thing is, what kind of success or what kind of transformation would they experience by virtue of your products or your service? In conclusion, I want you to know that facts tell. Facts tell. In fact, fact informs people about something. It is actually stories that sell. It is stories that eventually sell. And I want you to know that if you want to build trust and authority, don't just sell products. Don't just sell products or services. Sell the journey and the transformation by simply telling your story. So thank you very much for investing this time. I trust that you learned something, right? And I trust that you're going to begin to apply this that you have learned, all right, to your business in order to be able to project your business or move your business forward. Until I come your way again, keep doing business, keep making profit, and most importantly, keep living the limitless life. Thank you very much. Simon Marchi is my name, and God bless you. Bye for now.